And so I noticed that YouTube had recommended me this channel, or well, a video of this channel on my feed, and I clicked on it, and I happened to have discovered, or to have, not to say that I discovered, well, personally, yes, I have discovered, but that I was recommended this channel, and the result is absolutely awesome. So that's why I didn't want to wait for any longer, and I told myself that I should better do this blog entry today. I am very, as you can notice, I am very enthusiastic about this channel that I am going to be sharing you on the screen that is under the name of Opera Turkey. Of course, we understand this is a channel of opera produced by someone who is from Turkey or who is actually in Turkey. Our uh, much appreciated friends and brothers from Turkey. And the reason why I clicked on it is because I was recommended on a series of videos, uh, a list or sharing this number of tenors singing one of my favorite arias of all times. That's why I clicked on it. That was my motivation. But I found opposite to what I have shared in previous days where I am telling you, oh my God, I am so fed up. I am so tired of those people sharing the top 10, the top 5 sopranos of all times, the top 10 baritones, the 15 best baritones that you need to blah, 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 blah. And that I was sharing with you that it's just shallow content, just a random list of the singers they like because they provide no support to their statement other that these are the 5, 10, or whatever number of singers you must know, or the best version of Casta Diva, all the best Carmen ever, and all those sensationalist terms of which I have shared in the past that I do not oppose to that use, but it is necessary that the author of the content says from my perspective, from what I know, or just because I like, but try to make it a universal truth when it's just a matter of these are the ones that I know, or are the ones that I like, or these are the only ones that I had available for building my content. So that's where I disagree. But in the land of that shallow content, which is just a list of videos of singers randomly put, I found the opposite in this channel. Because in this channel, I found that the creator or the owner has put together a good number of videos that are worth to dedicate a good amount of time to look into this. So the comparison, I would like to clarify that even though the author says it is a comparison, it is not a comparison that lies on the hand of the content creator. It is a comparison that lies in the hands of the listener, which means us, which I found very good because with it is truly a huge effort that he has put in uh, putting them all together, a given piece of the areas that he's interested in. uh, you can make your own decision. So it is not Ricardo telling you that the best Tosca is Renata Tebaldi or Mirella Freni or whoever I choose. It is you who, based on the good number of tenors or singers that are put side to side, you can notice the difference. And of course, as we have shared in the past in this channel, in Opera We Love Singing, we are fans of critical thinking. And that's why I really want to recommend you and strongly suggest that you go and subscribe to this channel. Because here you will find, and this is the area I was telling you about, Un dia l'azzurro spazio, of course, from the opera Andréa Chénier. Great aria. And I'm going to show you the list of singers that he puts together, I also have to confess that I didn't know many of them, so it was for me a great surprise to see how many incredible voices we have here, because it's not only that I want to recommend you this channel. I would like to give you some material, some food for thought. Now that you are at it, notice that the author of the content is suggesting that you pay attention to the high B. The high B, or si bemol, or B flat, as you want to call it, if you're familiar, or if you're not familiar with musical terms, you can just call it the high note. So by reading the part of the score here, you notice immediately that the highest note out of this out of this image is this one that I am pointing at. This one is the si bemol, or the high B flat. This is the note that we are paying attention to. Well, this is the passage that the author is interested in you to listen, which of course I am not going to discourage you to pay attention to the si bemol, but I would like to encourage you to pay attention to the whole passage to see, because this is a comparison, as we were saying, to see, to realize which or how each of the singers is working his way out of this final part of Un dia l'azzurro spazio. And why? Because if you have heard in the past our Parlando series, where we talk about a number of arias and opera, sorry, and we talk about Andréa Chénier, I have shared there in the past that Un dia l'azzurro spazio is more comfortable for a heavy tenor, for a lyrico spinto closer to a dramatical tenor, but it has some particularities in the vocality that is required for this aria. That's why I want to call your attention to more than just the si bemol, because there is a lot happening here. And what is happening here, as you will listen to each and every singer, please notice that you come from a much softer part. O giovinetta bella, don poeta, non disprezzate il detto. And then that's where it comes the hardest part for the tenor, because even though it is not very high, it has to be very solid. And again, I would like to invite you to notice how smart, or how, or what use of their instrument makes each of the singer, because they have to go in always in a very solid voice. Udite, non conoscete l'amor. And I pay attention not only on how they come from this soft udite non conoscete, sorry, uscite, o giovinetta bella, d'un poeta, non disprezzate il letto, udite, non conoscete l'amor. The tenor has to be very solid in this part on non conoscete l'amor. Now that he goes for an F, for a fa, the fa has to be very brilliant, solid, with that metal quality right before he jumps. This is something that I would like you to invite you to notice. If the singer is going and making a legato, because I notice several of them do it, they go, non conoscete l'amor, then rise from the fa to the si bemol, amor. This is very interesting because it has to rely on the intelligence and the quality and the vocal and the technique of the singer, because many would cut amor, then a very small pause, amor. Notice which singers do amor, rising or legato, or just cutting, chopping to different notes. Amor, amor. But also notice the following. If after the si bemol is, and most of the recordings that the author is sharing with us are live, so that makes it twice as interesting because since they are live, and you know that we have a passion for live recordings, because if the singer can do it live, then he can do it in a studio, but not the other way. That sounds incredible in a studio, but that's a lousy job live. So after Amor Divi, because Amor Divino dono non lo schernir, the tenor has to continuously sound solid, if not with a very powerful voice, at least very solid. Because I would like to set the example that I noticed that, of course, didn't sound solid. And I am referring to Luciano Pavarotti, who happens to be here in this list. In let me tell you where, yeah, minute 20, 18 seconds, you find Luciano Pavarotti. And notice that opposite to what happens to most of the other tenors, this is where he has the problem. Because after the si bemol, amor no lo el amor, continuously flowing, Luciano falls into trouble. And falls into trouble because this is certainly not his aria. This is one of the things that I didn't like about Luciano, that just because he has a high note and he has a very, very beautiful si bemol, does not mean that he has the stamina or the technique or the intelligence to resolve on how he's going to go about it. But don't let me influence you. Go through the list of all if you like this area. Of course, if not, there are many to choose in this beautiful, extraordinary channel. But if you like this area, go through each of them, pay attention to how they are doing, and a final suggestion or two suggestions. Notice the final, and there is a small shacatura here. El amor. Notice how they are doing it. Corelli did it horribly. Corelli has horribly done this type of ornament because he does something in his voice that I don't really like. La, like la, or something like that, which is from my perspective, vulgar and horrible. And notice the second one, also notice how the tenors are wrapping the l'amor. It's very difficult, even though it's a very comfortable note for a tenor, it's uncomfortable because of where you come from. Remember that we have shared that the difficulty of an aria does not reside only on the note. Because if you have a si bemol, you say, I'm going to get away with it. Yes, but you have to resolve the whole part before and continue with all the rest that comes after. And the addition of all those three things is what makes this aria very, very difficult to sing. So there is one singer that I'm not going to give you the name that makes it horrible, what we have criticized a number of times. L'amor! You know that horrible sound. L'amor! If you don't have breathe, if you're about to break the note, stop a second earlier. There is no problem, as you will see in most of the singers. L'amor! Just seize the note correctly, but that horrible, vulgar habit of doing it, I detest. But you will be able to do the comparison, and again, invite you to pay attention to what I was just sharing, if you agree, and I hope you like as much as I liked with this channel that of course I will continue reviewing the materials, and if I deem necessary, of course we will do a following video blog entry on more of the content on that channel.